Hello everyone, myself Noman Ahmed and I'm back with another video once again. So as you all know and if you have watched the previous video which was on the Delhi Sultanate, which was the chapter 8 of the history part, we completed the Delhi Sultanate in two parts. Now we are going to start the chapter number 9 of history which is the Mughal Empire, as you can see the heading, and it is at page number 79. So now let's get started without wasting any more time. So here, before starting, the first point that we will start with the Mughal Empire is the sources. Okay, so the sources, the first source is the Ane-Akbari. You can follow the book at page number 79, all the things are given. So the first source here is the Ane-Akbari. The first point about the first source. Okay, so you all know what is the meaning of source. By source means the means from which we get to know about the empire. Okay, some knowledge, some information about the empire we come to know because of the sources. So now the first point of Ane-Akbari is it was written by Abul Fazl. See, some important point are written here. The base points are there. You can follow the book, you can take the screenshot, and if you will, you can copy this all also. So here, see, Ane-Akbari, it was written by Abul Fazl. Who wrote it? Abul Fazl. The first important thing, the question can be asked that name the author or name the writer of the Ane-Akbari, the first source. So Abul Fazl. Now Abul Fazl wrote. Now who was Abul Fazl? So he was the prime minister. Okay, prime minister in Delhi Sultanate. We read that prime minister, they did not know the name of they did not know that the head was known as prime minister, so they called him as wazir. Okay, so here it is written prime minister, so we will write prime minister. So the prime minister and one of the 9 jewels. Okay, 9 jewels means some VIP person. Okay, 9 VIPs or 9 extraordinary persons were there in the court of Akbar. So he was one of the 9 jewels. Okay, and he was also the prime minister, and he wrote the first source, which is the Ane-Akbari. Now Ane-Akbari is the biography of Akbar. Okay, now it is regarded, Ane-Akbari, it is regarded as a precious source material. So Ane-Akbari is regarded or considered as a precious important source material. Okay, it is a material, or you can say it is a precious source material from which you can know about the administration, about the culture, and during the reign of Akbar. So let's read, see what is there. It is regarded as a precious source material for knowing the administration. Okay, administration and culture during the reign of Akbar, during the time of Akbar, during the period of Akbar. Got it? Now the next point coming up here is the Ane-Akbari is divided into 5 books. Now some main points from here can be asked in the exam, that first tell how many books the Ane-Akbari has been divided. So 5 books, it has been divided into 5 books, and all the 5 books, the first book, the second, the third, and the fourth and fifth, will come to know further. It can be asked what is the matter containing in the first book, or what first book contains, second book contain. It can be asked. Okay, so you just have to keep an idea of this. So Ane-Akbari divided into 5 books. The first book from here, the first book deals with the imperial household. That means the household of the empire. Okay, the interior of the empire, the household. Now the second book deals with the servants of the emperor, the military and the civil services, the second book. Now the third book deals with the imperial administration. That means the administration of the empire. Okay, how the empire was governed or administered. Okay, so the third book contains the information or deals with the imperial administration. Got it? Now the fourth book contains information, just the short form info. So it contains information about Hindu philosophy, science, social customs, and literature. And the fifth book contains wise sayings of Akbar. The fifth book contains wise saying of Akbar. Okay, so wise saying of Akbar, it also consists the biography of the author Abul Fazl. See, the fifth book contains 2 things. Okay, so the fifth book contains 2 things. The first thing is the wise saying. Okay, the good things said by Akbar. It contains the wise sayings of Akbar, and the second, it contains the biography. Okay, the author Abul Fazl, biography of the author of Rana Akbari, Abul Fazl. Who was Abul Fazl? Or biography means Abul Fazl. See, the information about Abul Fazl, who was Abul Fazl and what did he do, many things are there in his biography. So we will not go there, just we have to know that it also consists the biography of the author Abul Fazl. Now see, it was the first source, Rana Akbari we did. Now the second source is the Taj Mahal. You are very okay, you know what is Taj Mahal, and many of you who are watching this video may have seen Taj Mahal also at Agra. Okay, so see, some points are there, some important points of Taj Mahal. It is also a source. See, Taj Mahal was also built in the time of Mughal Empire. Okay, after the Delhi Sultanate finished, the Mughal Empire started. So it was built in the time of Mughal Empire. And the first point that is coming up here, we all know that. You also know, or if you have visited the Taj Mahal, you also know, and if you have not visited there, then also you know. The first point is that who built the Taj Mahal? Yes, Shah Jahan built the Taj Mahal. Why he built the Taj Mahal? Because in the memory of his beloved wife Mumtaz Mahal. Okay, so first point, सबको पता है फर्स्ट पॉइंट क्या है? तो ताजमहल शाहजहां के द्वारा बनाया गया था, और in the memory of his beloved wife. The name of the wife, उसकी वाइफ का नाम था मुमताज महल. Okay, so the first point, built by Shah Jahan, and in the memory, why Shah Jahan built? Because of in the memory of his beloved wife, the Mumtaz Mahal. Now the second point here, it is the mausoleum of Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal. Okay, mausoleum means the place where they both are buried is known as mausoleum. Okay, so it is the mausoleum of Shah Jahan and the Mumtaz Mahal. The third point coming up, it is built at Agra. Everybody in India knows that, or in the world knows that. It is built at Agra on the banks of river Yamuna. Okay, so if in the exam the question comes that where is Taj Mahal located, so we will just not write it is located at Agra, but we have to write that it is located at Agra. Okay, on the bank of river Yamuna. Got it? Now see, it was designed by Ustad Isha Khan. It was designed by Ustad Isha Khan. Who designed the structure of Taj Mahal? Ustad Isha Khan. It can be asked that who designed the structure of Taj Mahal? Ustad Isha Khan. Now here, after that point, it is made up of pure white marble. It is made up of pure white marble. Now, on each of the four corners, if you see in the book the image, or if you have visited, you may remember that Taj Mahal have four corners. Okay, first, second, third, fourth, and in between the structure and above the dome is there. So all the four corners, there is a minaret. Minaret means, in a normal language we say it like it is a minar. Okay, tower. Minar means tower. Now here, the central domes, the dome which is in the center, the upper part, the topmost part is known as the dome. The central dome rises to a height of 56.1 meter. It rises to a height of 56.1 meter. Now the actual grave, okay, here we read the mausoleum like that. The actual grave are in the lower chamber, underground. The actual grave of Mumtaz Mahal and Shah Jahan are in the lower chamber, or you can say it underground. Now here, see, this is the main point. It can come in the exam, and I think, from my opinion, it will come in exam. So see, entire structure of Taj Mahal is made up of marbles, first point, and the walls are decorated with floral, that means flower type designs. Walls are decorated with floral designs made of semi-precious stone. So entire structure of Taj Mahal is made up of marbles, and the walls are decorated with the floral designs made of semi-precious stone. Now this method of decoration, this type of method of decoration is known as pietra dura. Okay, pietra dura. Now in exam, if it is asked that what do you mean by pietra dura, so we can write that the Taj Mahal is made up of marbles and its walls are decorated with floral designs made up of semi-precious stone, and this type of method of decoration is known as pietra dura. Got it? Now see, the last point here, it was designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1983 and was declared as one of the seven wonders. We count Taj Mahal as in the category of one of the seven wonders, you also know. So it is, and was declared as one of the seven wonders of the world in 2007. The date can be asked, that name or mention the date. The Taj Mahal was designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site is the 1983. Sorry, mention the year, okay, and and also was declared as one of the seven wonders. So they mentioned the year in which it was declared as one of the seven wonders is 2007. Now quickly let's get revised about the Ane-Akbari and Taj Mahal. Now after that we will do the Jama Masjid and the sources. The first point of Ane-Akbari was it was written by Abul Fazl. Got it? The second point, who was Abul Fazl? He was the prime minister and one of the 9 extraordinary people. He was one of them, or 9 jewels. Now it is regarded, Ane-Akbari is regarded as a precious source material for knowing the administration. Okay, it is a precious source, okay, important source for knowing the administration of the Mughal Empire or the court of Akbar. So knowing the administration and culture during the reign or period or time of Akbar. Now Ane-Akbari is divided into 5 books. We also know Ane-Akbari is divided into how many books? Yes, 5. So the first book deals with the imperial household. That means the empire, in the empire, how the household things you also know. So imperial household. Second point, or the second book deals with the servants of emperor. Okay, the servants of the king. Okay, or the sultan. Emperor, the military service and the civil services. Now the third book deals with the imperial administration. That means the administration of the empire. The third book deals with that. Now the fourth book contains information or info. Just don't write that info in the examination. It's information, just the short form I have wrote. So the fourth book contains information about the Hindu philosophy, science, social customs and literature. Now the fifth book contains wise saying or the good things said by Akbar. And it also, the fifth book I also told previously that it contains of 2 things, the wise saying and the biography of the author Abul Fazl. Now we come to the Taj Mahal. We also know that Taj Mahal was built by Shah Jahan in the memory of his beloved wife Mumtaz Mahal. Just I am reading, you just listen carefully and you will remember it, okay. Now it in the memory of his beloved wife Mumtaz Mahal. After that it is the graveyard, or you can say mausoleum of Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal. It is built at Agra on the banks of river Yamuna, and it was designed by Ustad Isha Khan. Now it is made up of pure white marble and on the each 4 corners there is a minaret or minar, and the central dome rises to a height of 56.1 meter, and the actual grave of Mumtaz Mahal and Shah Jahan are in the lower chamber, or you can say underground. Entire structure of Taj Mahal is made up of marbles, and the walls at the interior are decorated with floral designs, and this type of method of decoration is known as pietra dura. Now the last point here coming up, and after that we will start the Jama Masjid. So the last point, it is designated, or it was designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1983 and was declared as one of the 7 wonders of the world in the year 2007. Okay, so the 2 dates 1983 and 2007. Now we are coming up to the Jama Masjid. As we finished the Ane-Akbari, the first source, Ane-Akbari the first source, and Taj Mahal the second source. Okay, now we are going to start the Jama Masjid. Okay, now we are going to start the third source. It's the Jama Masjid and the Red Fort. Now see, as we in the previously we completed the 2 sources, which was the Ane-Akbari and the Taj Mahal. Now the Jama Masjid and the Red Fort we will complete, and the sources part of this chapter will be completed. The first point of the Jama Masjid coming up here is it was built by Shah Jahan. Okay, the Jama Masjid, the Red Fort, the Taj Mahal, okay, was also built by Shah Jahan. Okay, he only built these 3 monuments. Now the Jama Masjid, the first point of Jama Masjid is it was built by Shah Jahan. The second point, it is the biggest mosque in India. Okay, can be asked what is the name the biggest mosque in India or the masjid in India? It is the Jama Masjid. Now number 3rd, it's courtyard. Okay, courtyard has the capacity to handle 1,000 of people at a time. So the Jama Masjid has the capacity. Okay, it has the capacity to handle or to accommodate more than 1,000 of people at a time. Now the fourth point here is they built on a lofty basement. Okay, the Jama Masjid, it is built on a lofty basement. Lofty basement means the basement or the thing on which the Jama Masjid has been built is a bit high from the ground. Okay, it is a bit level high from the ground. It is known as lofty basement. Like this is the ground and the basement is like this. Okay, it is at a height. Okay, it is high from the ground. So they built on a lofty basement with flight of steps. Okay, it contains flight of steps or some steps, and that steps lead to the imposing gateways. Imposing, that means impressive gateways on the three sides. The Jama Masjid had three gateways. See, here the last point is it has three gateways. The composition can be asked. It has three gateways. Jama Masjid has three gateways, 4 towers, or you can say minar. 4 towers and two 40-meter high minarets or minars, 240-meter high, and constructed of the red sandstone and marble. It can be asked that Jama Masjid has been constructed by the red sandstone and white marble. If the question comes, name the thing from which it is constructed. So it is the red sandstone and white marble. Now this is the end of Jama Masjid. Now the last source but not the least is the Red Fort, which is located in Delhi. So the Red Fort, Delhi. The first point here, it was also built by Shah Jahan when he decided to shift his capital. Okay, when he decided to shift his capital to Delhi. Like in Delhi Sultanate, he decided, I just don't remember the name of the king. He decided to shift his capital to Devagiri. Okay, there he tried, and after that, when his people were on the way, he told or he realized the threats from some southern or western part. Okay, and he then again told his people to go back there. So it caused a lot of hardships, but that case was not here. Just Shah Jahan was when he decided to shift his capital to Delhi, and then only he built the Red Fort. Okay, and Red Fort is also located at the bank of river Yamuna. Okay. Bank means in Hindi we say it Kinara. The river Yamuna's, okay, the bank is known as Kinara, so it is the located at the bank of river Yamuna. The Red Fort is also built of red sandstone and marble were used in the construction of the Red Fort. And Red Fort has 2 gateways, and the western gateway is known as the Lahori Gate. It can be asked that name the or which gate is known as the Lahori Gate is the western gateway. Now the impressive building in the Red Fort or in the monument, there are some impressive building. They are the Diwan-e-Aam and Diwan-e Khas. So Diwan-e Khas was used by the king or the emperor to give audience to the princes of the royal family, nobles, etc. Here Aurangzeb later built the Moti Masjid in the Red Fort. In the Red Fort, who built the Moti Masjid? The Aurangzeb. Okay, if the question comes, who built the Moti Masjid in the Red Fort, is Aurangzeb. Many historical events are held in Red Fort. Many historical events. The historical events like the Prime Minister every year unfurls the national flag from its ramparts on 15th of August. Okay, 15th of August is the Independence Day. Now, let's quickly revise once. The Jama Masjid, it was built by Shah Jahan, the biggest mosque in India. Courtyard has the capacity to handle more than 1,000 of persons or people, and it is built on a lofty basement with flight of steps, which leads to the imposing gateways on the 3 sides. It has 3 gateways, 4 towers, 240 meters high minaret built of sandstone and white marble. Now we come to the Red Fort, Delhi. Here the Red Fort. The first point of the Red Fort is built by Shah Jahan when he decided to shift his capital to Delhi. Located at the bank of river Yamuna, and red sandstone and marble were used in the construction of the Red Fort. Okay. It has 2 gateways. Western gateway is known as the Lahori Gate. If the question asks, name the Lahori Gate, it is the western gateway. Some impressive buildings are there in the Red Fort, which is the Diwan-e-Aam and Diwan-e Khas, and Diwan-e Khas is used by the king or the emperor to give audience to the princes of the royal family and nobles, etc. Who built Moti Masjid in Red Fort? Aurangzeb. Many historical events are there in the takes place in the Red Fort. The Prime Minister every year unfurls the national flag from its rampart on 15th of August, which is known as Independence Day. Okay, now after the sources has been finished, the thing about the Mughal dynasty, Babur is not coming, it is not included in the syllabus. So about Akbar, Now some thing, or you can tell the knowledge about Akbar, okay, who was Akbar, and the information about him is given here. So about Akbar we come to know here. The first point of Akbar is that the greatest of the Mughal rulers, okay. So Akbar was the greatest of the Mughal rulers, okay, the first point. Second point is he was only 13 years old, okay, was only 13 years old when he came to the throne. See, 13 years old, he was at a very short age when he came to the throne, or ascended the throne, you can say. And he was guided by his tutor Bairam Khan. Now in the exam the question can be asked that name his tutor or name the tutor of Akbar, okay. So his tutor was Bairam Khan. Now after that, in the time of Akbar, when he ascended the throne, the Afghans were uniting their forces. They were you can say they were uniting their forces under the leadership of, and they were planning to attack the Mughal, okay. So the Afghan were uniting their forces under the leadership of Hemu for the final showdown with the Mughals, okay, for the final war, or you can say the final showdown with the Mughals. Now what happened in the second battle of Panipat? In the second battle of Panipat, the Mughal forces led by Bairam Khan defeated Hemu. So in the second battle of Panipat, the Mughal forces was led by the tutor of Akbar, who was Bairam Khan, and after that the Afghan forces were defeated, okay. Now after having established, see, after the second battle of Panipat, what happened? Bairam Khan established himself in Delhi and Agra. So after he established himself in Delhi and Agra, what Akbar did? He captured Malwa, he captured Gondwana, he captured Bengal, he also captured Gujarat, Kashmir and Kabul, okay. And finally Ahmednagar, Berar, Khandesh were annexed to the Mughal Empire, okay. Now see, in the battle of Haldi Ghathi, in 1576, the date or the year is important. In the battle of Haldi Ghathi in 1576, between, see, the battle of Haldi Ghathi was between Maharana Pratap and the ruler Maharana Pratap, the ruler of Mewar. Who was the ruler of Mewar? Maharana Pratap, and the Mughal army led by Raja Man Singh. So the battle of Haldi Ghathi in 1576 was between Maharana Pratap, the ruler of Mewar, and Mughal army led by Raja Man Singh, okay. And after that, what happened? Maharana Pratap fought with matchless courage, okay. He fought with matchless courage, but had to leave the battlefield when he was heavily wounded or injured, okay. So what in the battle of Haldi Ghathi, what happened? Maharana Pratap fought with matchless courage, but he had to leave the battlefield when he was heavily injured or wounded. Now what happened? Akbar died in 1605. Now as you all know that we completed the Delhi Sultanate in 2 parts. So similarly we will complete the Mughal Empire also in the 2 parts. Okay, so this was the first part till Akbar. I hope what I explained you understood, and if you like the video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, share and subscribe. Keep supporting, keep watching.